Welcome to Caffeinated Conspiracies, where mysteries, conspiracies, and the unexplained come to life. Grab your favourite brew and get ready for a mind-bending journey through the extraordinary.
I'm Omer, and
I'm Glen, and together we're your hosts as we sip on curiosity and explore the enigmatic.
In each episode, we'll dive deep into the unknown, unravelling tales of intrigue and shedding light on the secrets that have baffled the world for centuries.
we're not just here to tell you the stories.
We're here to question them, dissect them, and invite you to join the conversation.
So, brew your curiosity, prepare to be captivated, and let's embark on this caffeinated adventure together.
This is Caffeinated Conspiracies.
And we're your guides through the uncharted.
Grab your coffee and let's dive in.
Welcome to the dark secrets of the Cecil Hotel. In this gripping episode of Caffeinated Conspiracies, we check into the infamous hotel where chilling mysteries and eerie stories have unfolded for decades. From unsolved crimes and unexpected death to encounters with the supernatural, this hotel holds more than its fair share of enigmas. Grab your room key and a cup of coffee as we venture into the shadowy corridors and dive into the intriguing history of the Cecil Hotel. It's a stay you won't forget, but we can't guarantee you'll want to book a room there after this episode. Welcome to the next episode on this caffeinated adventure that me and Omer call life. We don't, we call it Caffeinated Conspiracies. Our life is just caffeinated.
I mean, in this episode, at least, caffeine has a big plot point because you want to stay awake at the hotel. Don't go to sleep.
No, I don't think you'll ever sleep in this hotel. Now, we were meant to have a guest on this week as well, which was Dave, who we had on our Titanic episode. For those who haven't listened into season 1, why haven't you? Go and listen to it. It's a good episode. But yes, unfortunately, he couldn't make it. We've also had another guest who was meant to be on our season finale episode. I'm always saying it now, and it's out of sync, but we mentioned them in a later episode that they were going to be on an episode. Because we've recorded out of sync, it's got a bit crazy, but we've had to replace another guest, but we have got someone amazing lined up, but that's on the season finale. This is episode 5 at the moment. You've got to wait till episode 10 for that one, but yeah, we're just going to plug it a little bit now for you. But yes, this week we are looking at the Cecil Hotel, or Hotel Cecil, or Cecil, as I believe some of the Americans call it as well.
Cecil.
Yeah. I mean, there was recently a documentary on Netflix. Now, the story on that one we will dip into ever so slightly, but because it has just recently been a big Netflix documentary, I don't want to delve too much into that one, because we'd just be rehashing what Netflix has already put out there, and we're not stepping on any toes. If you are interested in that, go and watch it. It is on Netflix, and you can see that now. For those that are going to check out the TikTok clips, you'll see behind me again, which was in the next episode, but again to us because we've already recorded the next episode. And we're very much like Doctor Who at the moment. Everything is
Wibbly wobbly.
Yeah.
Timey-wimey.
Not recorded in order, and I don't like it.
Nope.
Behind me, as I have now changed rooms, there is our Caffeinated Conspiracies YouTube page, which you can go and sign up and follow us on there. And you can catch all our videos. You can see at the moment just all our audio is on there at this moment in time. But there will be some exclusive behind the scenes videos and mine and Omer's best bits. Not mine and Omer's bits because we can't put that on YouTube. But I mean, you can see all our funny bits from season 1 and season 2 coming at the end of this season. But Omer, man, Hotel Cecil. When I was watching the documentary, the first thing I did as soon as I saw it was text you and was like, dude, you need to watch this. Because it does talk a little bit about all the other things that have happened there. Not in as great detail as the main story, but, you know, it was one of those. Now, for yourself, what sort of research did you come across?
I mean, I started my research on this before I watched the documentary. But I think the documentary just focuses on the one murder. I mean, it tells you about the other stuff that happened there, its history, stuff like that, but it focuses mostly on Elisa Lam.
Yeah.
But like when
I'm glad you remember the name, because I really couldn't without going through all my research.
If you look at sort of the death count of that place, it's like, how is it still open?
I know. That is the crazy part of it. How is this place? How are the doors still open to this hotel? And obviously, we'll go into that because there are reasonings behind it. Well, let's get into the main story and go through it. And oh man, I've got a lot of research on this one, so this one might get a bit long-winded. And if it does, people, I do apologise. Omer, feel free to jump in at any point if you've got anything else that you want to put into this one, because like I say,
Nope.
I have done
It's all you. I'm taking a break on this one.
Done a deep dive on this one. So, the Hotel Cecil originally opened as a middle-class hotel in the December of 1924. It later became a budget hotel and hostel. It started to gain a reputation, and after 16 mysterious murders, it has now become a hotel that is very well known. The hotel cost $1.5 million to build and boasted a beautiful marble lobby, stained glass windows, which still look fantastic to this day. We will put some pictures on our Instagram of this, because from the documentary, as you walk into the lobby, and if you watch any videos where they walk into the hotel lobby, it looks very extravagant. It is very well made. It looks fantastic. So you would look at it and think, wow, this is a really nice hotel. Let's get further into it. Within 5 years of opening, the Great Depression hit. Now, for those that don't know about the Great Depression, look it up. You probably would have learned about it at school, whether you're in the UK, whether you're in America, anywhere in the world, you pretty much will have learned about the Great Depression. Throughout the 1940s, the hotel still did very well. However, it started to decline. The area Skid Row grew more and more, and the hotel became less of an attraction. Now, for those of you that don't know what Skid Row is, again, go and look it up. But just a brief overview, it's sort of where all the homeless people, I believe, live now.
There was an initiative in LA to sort of get the homeless together so they could build a community, is how they sold it. So they just moved them all to Skid Row. So this is why Los Angeles, in a lot of it, looks like there's not many homeless and affluent and clean, because all of them are forced to go to Skid Row.
Yeah, it's not a nice place. Currently, there are more than 10,000 homeless people that live just within a 6-kilometre radius of the hotel. And after that, the hotel sort of no longer has that good of a reputation. In the 1930s alone, in the 1930s alone, the Hotel Cecil was home to at least 6 reported suicides. Bear in mind, it opened in 1924, and just 6 years later, already well known for 6 suicides.
I mean, it's not a fair comparison, because I couldn't find the stats for other hotels, but suicides in hotels are more common than general statistics will let you believe. Hotels don't release the information, so you can barely find it. But ask anyone who's worked in a hotel, and they've most likely dealt with a suicide that's happened at the hotel.
Have you? Do you want to let us know? We won't give your name out or anything, but, and if you've been affected by anything on the episode, please do seek some help as well. We will put the information on this episode, because like we did say, this episode does talk a lot about suicide as well. And if you are feeling down, please do seek the help that you may need. I'm not ashamed to say that I've had to seek out the help in the past. But like I say, we will put that information there as well for you. So to go further into it, there were residents who had ingested poison, while others had shot themselves, slit their own throat, or jumped out of the bedroom windows. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's crazy. So here's an example. So in 1934, Army Sergeant Louis D. Borden, I hope I got that right, slashed his throat with a razor. Less than 4 years later, Roy Thompson of the Marine Corps jumped from atop the hotel and was found on a skylight of a neighbouring building. Now, I already know from there, these were military men, and I know that they don't sort of get the help that they need. These guys...
These are military men from the 1930s.
Yeah, they definitely would not have got any help at all.
Yeah.
Because it was, suck it up, you're a man, deal with it.
Yeah.
So if they killed themselves because of depression, and bearing in mind, they're in the Great Depression, I mean... It's sad to think that, you know, it wasn't even looked upon as an illness. It was just they were weak. That's how they saw it, and it's awful. So again, like I say, this is a sensitive episode. So if you know some of it is getting a bit jarring for you, maybe skip ahead a little bit just so we get to the theories for that side. If you are okay, please do keep listening. But like I say, we will again put any information about people that you're seeking help a bit further down. So in September 1944, this one is a weird one. So yeah, September 1944, 19-year-old Dorothy Jean Purcell awoke in the middle of the night with stomach pains, and while she was staying at the Hotel Cecil with Ben Levine, who was 38, she went into the bathroom to not disturb the sleeping gentleman in the bed, and to her complete shock, she gave birth to a baby boy. She had no idea she was pregnant. Mistakenly think her newborn was dead. This is disturbing, and I am very sorry. Purcell threw the baby out of the window and onto the roof of the building next door. At her trial, she was found not guilty of murder by reason of insanity, and she was admitted to the hospital for psychiatric treatment. I was just gobsmacked at that. I don't know. There was just something about that story, but again, as jarring as it is, and it is an awful story, it's one of those ones, though, and it needs to be told because this just shows you that this hotel is bizarre. There are so many different things going on. And I mean, we're only at 1944. You know, we go further on. So
they keep going.
It does keep going. In 1962, a 65-year-old... Oh, you got one before that?
Yeah, there's two things before that.
You've
got the 64's the Osgood one, isn't it?
No, 1962.
62.
George Gianni.
Okay, so I got two things. One I only found out when researching something else. Was Elizabeth Short, known as Black Dahlia.
Oh yeah. The Black Dahlia,
rumored, before she got murdered, she was rumored to be in there.
Yeah.
Because she got murdered in 1947, so if she was in the hotel, it would have been before then.
Yeah.
And then there was Helen Gurney, who was in her 50s and leapt off the 7th floor in 1954.
So I've got here 1962, 65-year-old George Gianni. You get this one, though. He wasn't a guest at the hotel. He was walking past the Hotel Cecil with his hands in his pockets when he was struck to death by a falling woman. Pauline Otten, 27, jumped from her 9th floor window after an argument with her estranged husband. Her fall killed both her and Gianni instantly. At that point, in the light of the suicides and mishaps, the hotel was dubbed the most haunted hotel in Los Angeles.
There was a second jumping the same year.
Okay.
From the 8th floor, February 11th, so early that year. I think it might have been before the one who hit it. Julian Moore.
Jeez, man. It's
same thing. Jumped off the 8th floor. Nobody knows why she jumped. Just she jumped from the 8th.
Just jumped.
1962.
It's hard to make jokes about this episode like we do usually because these are some sort of brutal things going on. But we've got here. This is the one that fascinated me because obviously this is a completely different story, but it somehow intertwines with this one. And in the mid 1980s, Richard Ramirez murdered 13 people and is better known as the Night Stalker, lived in a room on the top floor of the hotel much of his horrific killing spree. At the time...
His was a weird one.
Yeah.
His is what like spun me into like researching other stuff, because through the time of what was it like for several months he was there, so 84 to 85, spanning like several months. But the reports say that he would come home, take off his bloodied clothes, throw them in the dumpster, so then walk into the hotel like
completely
in his
start
caps.
naked.
Like
just not hanging out and everything, you know.
Nobody would say anything.
But now, like, it's the Hotel Cecil, isn't it?
But that's still weird. And like, how do you go from outside the building, which is now already a heavily populated area with the homeless, throwing bloodied clothes in a skip, and no one questioned that?
Yeah.
How did it take months before somebody realised?
That's it. I've got
he's killing everyone.
Got to say, right? At the time, Ramirez was able to stay there for a mere $14 a night. And with the corpse of junkies reportedly often found in alleys near the hotel, and sometimes even in the hallways, Ramirez's blood-soaked lifestyle surely raised nearly an eyebrow at the Cecil. And that's what I mean. Like you've just said there. How did no one just sort of go, that's him. He's the guy who's been killing everybody. How do you know? Well, he just stabbed that geezer in the doorway. You know,
it's not like
he's left the body there.
I just imagine that, like, nah, didn't see it. Sorry, failed.
What you on about? Wasn't me. Shaggy, wasn't me. But we caught you stabbing him in the face. It wasn't me. You know, it's just, it's going on. More serial killers have stayed at this place. 1991, Austrian serial killer Jack Unterweger, I want to say. Unterweger, who strangled prostitutes with their own bras, also called the hotel home. Rumour has it that he chose the hotel because of its connection to Ramirez. And while
his MO was different, though. That's what confused me.
Yeah. And while some episodes of violence in and around the hotel are attributed to known serial killers, some murders have remained unsolved. To pick one of many, the local woman, this is what I think you were going on about before, known around the area named Goldie Osgood, was found dead in her ransacked room at the Cecil. She had been raped before suffering fatal stabbing and beating. Though one suspect was found walking with bloodstained clothing nearby, he was later cleared and the killer was never convicted. Another instance of disturbing violence at the Hotel Cecil that's gone unresolved. I mean, so he was walking away with blood-soaked clothes and they just went, nah, you're all right, mate. Off you pop.
Good. Have a nice day.
But yeah, I've got it there. A grimly noteworthy guest at the hotel was Elizabeth Short, who became known as the Black Dahlia after a 1947 murder in Los Angeles. She reportedly stayed at the hotel just before her mutilation, which again remains unsolved. Such stories of violence are not simply a thing of the past. Decades after Short, one of the most mysterious deaths to take place at the Cecil Hotel happened recently, as of 2013. And that is the Canadian college student. Is it Elisa or Eliza? Elisa Lam. She was found dead inside the water tank on the roof of the hotel 3 weeks after she had gone missing. And like I say, that's the story of the documentary as well. I have got a bit of detail here. Like I say, not too much, because like I say, there was so much to go into. But her naked corpse was found after hotel guests complained of bad water pressure and funny taste to the water. Though authorities...
Brown water.
Yeah, brown water. Though authorities ruled her death as an accidental drowning, critics believed otherwise. I'm sorry, but she was inside a sealed water tower.
It wasn't sealed.
Oh no,
Apparently,
the door was open, wasn't it?
yeah. So initially it was reported as sealed.
Yeah.
And then afterwards they realised, nope, it was open. She must have fallen in, and because of how low the water was at the time, she couldn't swim to the top to get out.
Yeah. So before her death, surveillance cameras caught Lam acting strangely in the elevator, at the times appearing to yell at someone out of view, as well as apparently attempting to hide from someone while pressing multiple buttons and waving her arms erratically. After the video surfaced publicly, many people began to believe the rumours that the hotel was haunted. Horror aficionados began drawing parallels between the Black Dahlia murder and Lam's disappearance, pointing out that both women were in their 20s, travelling alone from LA to San Diego, last seen at the Cecil Hotel, and were missing for several days before their bodies were found. Thin know that these connections may sound as if the hotel has nevertheless developed a reputation for horror that defines its legacy to this day. The last body currently was found at the Cecil Hotel in 2015. A man who had reportedly committed suicide, and ghost stories and rumours of the hotel haunting swirled once more. The hotel even subsequently served as a chilling inspiration for a season of American Horror Story, but the hotels that American Horror Story, but a hotel that's home is unimaginable murder and mayhem. Just going off that, I think I need like a minute to decompress, because that was a lot to go through. And again,
those are only the recorded ones.
Those, yeah, exactly. Like we said, there are still some in there that have never been reported. Things that people have never been found. And like I say, if you have found any of that disturbing, I do apologise. That's why there is a warning at the start of the episode, and I will keep warning you as we go through. So overall, that like I say, there was quite a lot there, and it was quite heavy compared to other episodes where we tried to keep it light and fun. Like I say, this one really did need to have all that, because you need to know about this. This is a big one. But Omer, yourself, did you come across anything that jumped out at you? Anything that sort of makes you think that this could be home of something paranormal, something demonic? Is it just the fact that of where it is? Hit me with something. Come on.
Everything that's said paranormal, like occult and all the normal stuff that pops up, just doesn't stick here.
Okay.
I mean, it was a budget hotel. It charged rooms by the hour, so you know what that's getting used for.
Gaming sessions all night, boy.
But it's like, so most hotels, as I mentioned at the top of the episode, they have suicides happen. People like choosing hotels because you're not a burden on your family.
Yeah.
You can do it in private, and the hotel's going to keep it quiet anyway because it'd ruin their reputation. So hotels don't publish it, but yes, majority of hotels have had suicides, and they happen more often than you think.
Just go into it. Didn't Robin Williams do it in a hotel?
Yep.
And also Jason David Frank.
Yep.
The Green Power Ranger. Yeah, they did it in a hotel. They're the only two that sort of stick in my mind because they're the ones that sort of hit me high. Oh no, Chester Bennington. He did as well, didn't he?
You find me a famous suicide that happened at home, you'll have a short list. Because hotels are sort of, they're an impersonal space.
Yeah.
They don't put as much... So for somebody who's in that mind frame, and you just want to end it, but you don't want to hurt those around you, or you want to hurt them the least, it's where you want to do it.
Someone else will find you, it's not your family member.
Yeah. This is why people often jump off bridges, things like this, because you go in a river, less issue for someone else.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time they feel like they're a burden on society or something like this, and they don't want to be that burden. And mostly they don't want to be that burden for their loved ones. So they choose places like hotels, bridges, somewhere private, cabin in the woods.
Yeah.
So hotels famously hide it well, but happens. So Hotel Cecil having these is not odd. Hotel
No,
Cecil having so many notable ones is the odd thing. Jumping
that's
out of a
yeah.
window, you would
Like
think that
like
after
like
the first two, you would have made it so the windows don't open enough for you to
exactly.
jump out. But no, more happened.
I mean, even over the years, they've sort of tried to change the face of the Hotel Cecil because I believe that it's the top few floors, or I might have got it the other way around. That the bottom few floors are like a hostel for people in the area to live in, and
I've
then
got
the
this.
rest of them upstairs are. Oh, it used to be
Bottom
like that.
two floors are for long-term residents.
Yeah,
The stay in Maine is a youth hostel
that's the new bit.
from
Yeah,
level 4 to 6, from
yeah.
floor 4 to 6, and then 7 upwards is the Hotel Cecil.
So yeah, they tried to sort of spruce it up and make it look nicer, and try to make it more appealing to like a younger audience sort of thing to like get people in. Like let's get the backpackers in because they're going to be coming to LA. These are going to be the ones that are trying to become stars. They're going to need somewhere cheap to stay. Let's just sort of move away from our reputation of the Hotel Cecil being haunted and murder capital of the world, and nothing's been sort of known what's going on. So the stay on Main was meant to be like this nice thing, but like I said in the documentary as well on Netflix, one guy who lives there said after a certain time he wouldn't go upstairs at all because he just knew what it was like up there, and he kept his head down and wouldn't even do anything. But they saw some sights. Even the staff that worked there, a lot of them are sort of like, we're not saying anything, but there are guests that, like staff that have come out and said that there are some eerie goings on there. Like they have heard noises that they can't explain, seen things they can't explain. There's a guy on TikTok who lives across the road from it, and he's like, I've seen fires, I've seen people try to kill themselves, I've seen ambulances in the middle of the night, you know, and even if it got reported to the police don't go straight away because they know the Cecil Hotel has got a reputation. They're not turning up straight away. They're like, nah, we'll come when we're good and ready. And that's not taking a dig at the police. I don't know if it's still like that now, but the documentary said that like in the early 80s and the 90s, that's exactly what it was like. They just didn't care. What we will do is, because this has been a bit of a heavy episode, we're going to take a very quick break here, and then we'll come back with a bit more. So like I say, do bear with us, and we're back with you in just a second.
Welcome back to the place with cheap stay, but a long stay. If you ever wake up.
Oh, I like the chilling. I do have to say though, Omer, before we started this episode and we were doing the recording, you were very much singing Hotel California there. Do you think the Hotel Cecil is Hotel California? You mean that you can check in, but you're not checking out.
You can check out anytime you want, but you can never leave.
You can never leave. Bow wow wow. Welcome to the Hotel California. But no, looking at the Hotel Cecil, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, my information for this, before I wanted to do this episode, it was actually Dave who was meant to be on the episode, who was talking about it when we was doing an earlier podcast, a different series, and he was like, "Oh, I'd love to do this episode. I think it'd be really cool to do, because it's dead spooky." But I don't think Dave went into it as much as we have on this episode today. And like I say, a lot of this sort of made me feel a little uneasy. I'm not going to lie, but like I say, it's just something about this place that sort of irks me ever so slightly. That, I mean, again, me, I look at both sides of things. The bit that wants to believe in something and the bit that doesn't believe on something. I'm always on the fence. I can't be tipped either way. I'm always in the middle. But with this one, man, it sort of feels like the apartment building from Ghostbusters. it was built by Gozer's worshippers or something, because a lot of strange shit happens at this place, and that can be my only explanation, is that the people who designed it were Gozer worshippers, and that's it.
But you would think, like, why
There'd be a
would you
giant
just
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I know, but I mean, we all can't live in fairy
sexual
tales.
liberty's too far?
The Hollywood sign comes to life.
Just the H. But this one feels like a failing of the government and society and police and just everyone involved in it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, this is a horrible place and a bad place, right? You would think that even as an owner of this hotel, like, sure, you're going to be making some money, but is it worth it?
Exactly. I mean, if you were a chair board member of this place, you'd have to take some sort of responsibility to go, mate, shit is going down at this place. What can we do to make it better? Changing a couple of floors to be stay on main. What's that going to do? That hasn't done
It's
anything.
literal blood money. Like, that's all you're getting. I mean, the list of things that happen there that we've been through, like, that's all been murders and suicides. We're not even talking about the ODs.
Nope. Exactly, because, like I said, again, then, we'd still be going through that bit at the start where we just tell the brief overview. We'd still be going through it, naming names. You know, so much happens at this place. And like I say, please do go out there and look for yourself and look at your research. But it is...
Yeah, don't go there, though.
Yeah, don't go.
Don't go there.
If you do, film it and let us know, you know. But that's what...
Actually, that's what it's become. That's what's made it keep going, because it's become like a tourist destination for, oh, look, this is where evil things, like awful things happened.
It's mostly like YouTubers and TikTokers that go there now. Because they want to, oh, I can feel the presence of Elisa Lam here and things like that. And they, you know, now obviously the roof is locked, so you can't get up there and things like that. And the water tanks are sealed, but they're all still like trying to get there. And that documentary didn't help either. I mean, obviously it's brought to attention what's going on. And...
Sure, as well, before the documentary, like, the elevator connected the entire hotel. So the long stay customers, the stay on main customers, were all still mixed in. They had one elevator. There wasn't a mix. I think they've recently installed a new one. I may be wrong on that.
I think they have. But I think it says it in the documentary as well. Is that they've got
a new one?
Yeah.
They not installed a new one. They just used the thingy
or
one.
One of the other ones just to go on for the main, and the other ones for Hotel Cecil.
Yeah. So that's finally separated, but that doesn't change the fact that, sure, now you've cleaned up floors like 1 to 6, but 7 and up, that's not going to change.
No.
And you're not looking to make it change. And then its location doesn't help out.
No. It's not in the nicest of areas. But
that was a government initiative, so this is the genius of the American government.
Just governments in general, mate. Just governments in general.
Because the initiative was, hey, if we have all the homeless together, we can deal with them quite easily instead of having to run left and right. Plus, it cleans up LA, so let's put them all on Skid Row, right in front of where Hotel Cecil is. So now you've got literally homeless in that square block, just, you know, densely compact. And as more people become homeless, they just keep going there, and there's there's a higher probability of you becoming homeless than a homeless becoming stable.
Yeah, but it's not just that. And again, this is not me in any way, shape, or form sort of dismissing anything or saying anything derogatory to anybody. And if I do make it sound like that, I am sorry. Because the room rate is still so cheap, all it takes is for someone who works on the street, you know, for a night of work, to be able to get a hotel, and that's what they use the hotel for. I mean, yeah, you can class a certain area up saying stay on main, but to be fair, it's still being used for, well, I'd say its intended purpose. You know, there's nothing they can do about it, and it's unfortunate because, like they say, when it was first built, it was designed to be not a high-end hotel, but sort of like a
Yeah,
middle
but
class hotel.
it was built before the Great Depression. Great Depression hit it, ruined it, and
It did
then
with a lot of things, though, didn't
by the
it?
time it could like build itself up, Skid Row became a thing.
Yeah, which again was the government initiative, like you said, and even people that sit on the street, the homeless, and obviously if you can help them, help them. I'm not saying don't, but obviously they've used their money to get a place in the hotel, and then you get the serial killers who take advantage of these people and like, oh yeah, come back, I've got a place for you to stay. These people are desperate, down on the luck, living on Skid Row. We've heard stories of Skid Row about drugs and things like that. I don't know why I have to say like drugs because
Because you're on them.
I wish. But obviously there's the drug epidemic. There's prostitution. There was homelessness. As soon as somebody offered you a bed for the night, you were gonna take it because, like you say, it gets to that point where those people were out on the street and they had nothing. And unfortunately, they just became unwilling victims for these serial killers because it was easier to bring them back. And that's what they were saying about Elisa Lam, weren't they? Is that she was like an unwilling victim, that she ended up going down to Skid Row, ended up on drugs. And I'm just thinking,
No, it was her lack thereof. Because didn't she have?
she was on antidepressants and she hadn't taken them for quite some time.
Yeah. So, like, the police, that's what made the police dismiss it as, like, she stopped taking her meds, she's gone off the rocker, this is self-inflicted.
I don't think it was with her. I definitely don't think it was. And after watching that documentary, there's just too much that sort of... too many different factors to it. And the fact that they've just gone for the easiest option. I mean, I don't believe for 1 second now.
Occam's razor.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they've gone for, which makes sense. Don't blame them, especially like police in Skid Row, when they're probably dealing with 1,000 cases of the same thing.
Yeah.
It's easy to just say she's the same.
Yeah. I personally think it was someone who worked at the hotel, to be honest. That, in my opinion, with Elisa Lam, I think it was somebody who worked in the hotel.
But, like, I'm not even going to ask for motivation on that one. I wouldn't understand it if you told me.
I don't think there was. I just think it's... I reckon that there was somebody there who worked there who's obsessed with all the serial killers that have stayed at the hotel, all the murders, and they just went too far. That's just my opinion. But let's look at other bits of the hotel, and not so much. Again, this is one that we can't really have a lot of theories on. We can have some theories on things, but
I can always have theories on things. What are you talking about?
So for me, I've got here that the amount of murders and suicides is down to supernatural forces, and the place is possessed by demons, and that's what has caused so many suicides. The fires. There was the one fire which only lasted for about half an hour, but still, that was a demon coming into the world. That's what I'm saying. What do you think? Do you want to flesh that out a little bit? You know, that the places are built on top of demon land.
So, I would like that one to be true, because then it just puts the blame on other forces instead of just the horrible nature of humans, which we've seen too much of. But yeah, if you're saying demons or spirits or malevolence or anything like, spirits, question is, was it built to be that way, or did it become that way because of the deaths that started early?
It was built that way. They were Gozer worshippers. I've told you this.
So you're saying Gozer worshippers, well, not Gozer specifically, but some sort of like occult worshippers built it. That's why the deaths started early.
Yeah.
Whereas it could have been like it was an innocent place, and then a lot of negative energy and deaths got like compounded in there. And now it just attracts all that negative energy, pulling it in, and it's what's haunting it. And obviously, through those means,
it's a demon Faraday cage. It's a demon Faraday cage. There you go.
No, because a Faraday cage keeps both things in and out. It not only keeps the demons in, it stops them from getting in and getting out. You can't get in or out of a ferry. Like
They were already there.
As you can.
They built it to stop them in there.
So the demons in there have escalated.
Yeah.
They started with simple just pushing people out the window and, suicides to straight up serial killers.
Yep.
And then when cameras showed up, they were like, we need to be a bit more wary about this. How about just stay off camera?
Why do you think Mothman's never been there?
Mothman's always there.
He's not. Mothman's their number one resident. He stays all the time. All I know is, if I'm rocking up to that hotel at any point, I'm playing Carry On My Wayward Son, and that's it. And I'm pulling up in a 1967 Chevy Impala with rock salt.
I would say not go there at all, but you're saying go there ready to fight demons.
Yes.
Make sure you got your salt.
I've got my possession tattoo. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm safe. But I don't know. I kind of like the idea that it's been built to harness supernatural forces, and that's why over the years it's gradually built and got worse. And it went quiet for a bit, and then Elisa Lam was a big one which sort of made it very publicised, and that's when they were like, right, shit, we need to calm the fuck down. We're going to get noticed here. We're going to take over the world, but we need to do it slowly and calmly, not get noticed as much. And that's what's happened. That's my theory anyway, and on that, I am scoring that one a 4 out of 5.
Supernatural.
The supernatural, it was built to harness supernatural powers of demon forces, of ghosts, ghouls, goblins, the lot. Maybe not goblins, but you know what I mean. The paranormal.
Okay. I put that as a 3. I mean, I like the idea.
Fuck you.
But I don't see the evidence.
No, because it's a nice family-friendly hotel. Come on down.
Scooby-Doo hasn't shown up there yet.
Screw the Hilton this year. Come down to Hotel Cecil. Our pools are filled with blood. But yeah, let's just admit it is not a family-friendly place.
Saying that though, when I watched the documentary, nobody pointed to the ceiling. Are you sure there's no pentagrams on the ceilings anywhere?
Good point.
Everyone showed you the nice marble floor, but not many shots panned up.
And
except
that's
from
the
the
bit.
outside.
That's the bit that sort of gets you. You come in and you look at it, and it looks nice. And what is enticing? A trap. A trap is enticing. So of course, the guests are food for the demons, which is my theory.
So you think it's just a Venus flytrap that
Yes.
we know about, and we're just letting it survive?
Ooh, look, it's shiny and clean and new. I don't want to stroking my curtain there. That sounds like a euphemism for something for anybody who can't see what I'm doing. But yeah, it just, I don't know, it's just something about it that's a bit suspicious to me, and thinking it may be a demonic place is definitely up there for me. Obviously, I've got a few here for about Elisa Lam, some theories as well. And as
What's the other theories?
As I said before, Elisa Lam, I believe she was murdered by somebody who was employed at the hotel. My theory behind that is the fact that there was somebody clearly stood at the side of the elevator as she was freaking out. I'm sorry, but not being on antidepressants for a few weeks does not do that to you as a person who does take them myself. I don't take them for a few days. I just get a bit groggy. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't start hallucinating and freaking out and things like that. But that's where they're saying that it could be a ghost, there could be something there. Some people are even saying that the footage that we actually got was doctored, because it looks like there was a hand coming from behind the side of the door to her, and it just disappears. But you can always see it for like a very split frame to say that it's been doctored. And that's what's making me think that clearly it was somebody who works there who had access to the CCTV, who tried to bury it and cut themselves out of it because the timestamp was wrong and everything about it was off. And that's what's always made me think, even from watching the documentary to reading up about it myself and looking at my own ideas, I believe that she was murdered by somebody who worked there. Were they possessed? Was it to do with something? I don't know. But the human side of me, like you said, mate, before, about humans being awful, I do think it was that she was murdered by someone who worked there. I mean, I don't know about you. I don't know what you thought when you watched documentary. I don't know if you believe the theory that she did kill herself or what. But
when I was reading up, like, the events around it, sort of how she got there, like the fact that she was there alone, not taking antidepressants, so her personality is totally different to how her family describe her, which makes sense. I would believe like a staff member or even a long stay resident, somebody who knows the camera system and the building to know where you can and can't go without, being seen, makes sense.
Yeah.
The only thing that doesn't make sense is if you were gonna, kill her, why drop her in the water supply?
Hide the body in it.
So that's what made me think maybe not resident, because it's your water supply.
Yeah.
But this means that if you were looking at staff, you're looking at the one who stopped drinking the water the day she went missing.
Yeah. You start to go, hang on a minute, something's not quite right here. But, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind though, but didn't they search the roof in the first time of searching as well, and the dogs were barking up there, but they couldn't find anything? I suppose you never think to look
they didn't look in the tank, yeah. Because this was the issue, because when they went up, somebody reported the tank as closed, so why would you look in it?
Yeah, exactly.
And it wasn't until later that they reviewed, was it helicopter footage or something? And then they were like, it was open.
He went up, well, yeah, but when there was because they were complaining of dirty water, it being brown, smelling funny, tasting funny, and the water pressure. I think this was like, what was it, like a couple of days after, or like a few weeks after. The handyman went up, didn't he, to the roof, and as he got to the ladders and he was climbing up the tank, he saw that the lid was off askew. So obviously, he's looked inside, and there she was. So it's because people were reporting that there was an issue with the water that they went up and checked.
But they would have looked at the top of it at least on the first round.
No. You
would have looked at the top just in case someone was up there that you couldn't see from ground level. Which means the lid would have been on but askew at that point.
Don't forget the water tanks in America. You've played Spider-Man. You've seen what they're like. They're quite high up. They've got the dome lid.
That's not a dome lid one. That was a steel drum.
It was a steel drum one. But like I say, with that, what they've done is as they've come and looked at it, he's pulled the ladder up, gone up, and that's where it wasn't like completely off. It was just askew. So even if you're looking up from the top in a helicopter, you're not going to see.
But that's my point. If that lid was askew when the police showed up, the first day when they did the search, somebody had put the lid back on because she couldn't have done it.
No, exactly. And that's why I'm saying that it has to be somebody who knows the system up there, who knew that they were there and how to get into them. And that's what made me think it's someone who works there. They've opened it, threw her in, shut it, but not shut it properly. Shut it just enough so it looks like it's shut. Maybe it was somebody who got the joy of going in and watching her drown. You know, maybe it was somebody who was constantly going up to the roof and looking down on her because they were enjoying it. And that's the sad part. And, you know, it just makes me think, you know, that poor girl, what happened to her was awful. And a family.
It's just weird. It doesn't fit an MO. There's no rhyme or reason to it. But it's like if you were trying to be like one of the serial killers, you would have done something that they did, but neither of them did that.
No. Unless you're trying to start something new, but then again, you're not a serial killer because it's not happened again. But then again, these things that look like the suicides could also be murders. They're just that good. They've made it look like. But they say, don't they? Serial killers want to be caught. They want to make you
after
work
a
for
point.
It. Yeah, but I don't know. there was just something about the whole experience with that, and watching that documentary, that poor girl, and the fact that they blamed it on her mental health, and someone was taking advantage of her. But yeah, that's. I mean, the theory that someone who works there did it. What do you give that one?
Something doesn't add up for someone who works there. Like, there's no rhyme or reason or logic. Even a sadistic logic doesn't fit to it. It's like she fits like the Black Dahlia's criteria of lone girl traveling, but that's about it. She doesn't fit any of the other sort of, because the Black Dahlia was a horrific murder.
Yeah,
like splayed open and everything. But like this is just dropped in a water tank and pretended to be forgotten about.
Yep.
It feels the things don't add up, and because of that, I kind of have to sit it in the same place as the supernatural. It worked like on paper. It sounds like it works, but there's too much physical evidence that says it can't be. So I've got to give it a 3, just because I can't say anything higher without something to tell me it's got to be someone. I'm still convinced that lid was probably seen open by maintenance at one point, and instead of looking in, they just closed it.
Yeah.
Or when the police did their run, they just saw it open, and because they're not used to looking at that specific type of water tank, maybe didn't realize it's not supposed to be open.
Yeah.
Something like that, more than it was closed by her killer. Because you can see how somebody would get in there.
Yeah.
And if you're not in your right mind, you'd be like, oh, I can go in for a dip, but not realize you can't get back out.
Yeah, it's true.
And it'd explain why she sat there for ages. The weirdest thing is, it really, puts shivers through me that people were just drinking human tea, basically.
Yep. Yep.
And brushing their teeth with it. It's...
showering it. It's just, yeah. Okay.
So, 3 on that one for me.
I'm still going to go with a 4 for myself. Now... obviously, I've got a few more, but have you got any?
Theories, besides my own stupid ones? No.
No, okay. Mine are now stupid. So, obviously, I know, obviously, the first one, the supernatural side of things. Mine it's built on a rift between realities, and that's why there's some funky goings on.
I thought we weren't doing Mandela Effect today.
Just a stupid idea that pops into my head is very much like the series Fringe. What if it's built on a very thin tether of reality, and these people are seeing something that they can't explain that drives them to madness? So whether it is, because from the sounds of things, the people that have committed suicide here, there's been, from what I can gather from my notes and from my research and looking into it, there's been no preempting of this. There's been no suicide notes left for most of them. The fact that this woman didn't even know she was pregnant, then woke up and she had a baby. What if that was two realities merging together? All the different things that just don't make sense could be chalked up to it's on the very thin veil of two realities, and the things from the other reality have bled over and caused a few funky goings on. Again, like I say, it's a balls to the wall idea. It's got no merit to it, no backup to it. But for me, I just thought it was fun. And for me, I'm going to give that, again, a 4 because I like it. just because I like the idea.
I mean, the fact that the place doesn't have any... well, it has very minor to little to no, supernatural elements of, unexplained noises, stuff like this. Just a couple of unseen camera, trickery, stuff like that. But if we're playing with the idea of it in its holding two realities together, and we're talking the many worlds theory, so the other reality isn't that far from us, it's just us but slightly different. And if it's a world where Skid Row is basically Escape from LA,
Yeah.
like locked off, martial law within the place,
Yeah.
like it's its own entity, and it's the worst of the worst that's in there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the Hotel Cecil that's bleeding into this Hotel Cecil.
Yeah. Well,
I like that one. That one sounds like a fun thing.
They say it, don't they, that if you think of two realities together like snow globes, there's going to be a point where the snow globes are touching if they're all in a line. And it's just where the veils sort of meet together. And that's the theory, is that the Hotel Cecil is on that veil. And it's literally between the two worlds. But the only thing is, I've got other stories that will come later in different seasons because they've not been organised yet or planned or where they're going to be. And there's another one that I've got where I believe parts of Scotland. There's a place in Scotland that I believe is on the veil. But then, obviously, if I believe that one's on the veil, I can't believe that this is on the veil as well, because snow globes go round, and Scotland would be up here, whereas the Hotel Cecil would be here on the side, unless there's another snow globe on top of us, and we're in the middle of everything.
That's what I'm saying. Wouldn't it at some point be like a Venn diagram of like three different realities bleeding into each other?
But, I mean, if something has happened to weaken any of the veils and they've smashed together, then... yeah, that's we've opened up the multiverse, Barry. But yeah, that's just, like I say, that was just one of my theories that I came up with. I liked it. It sounded fun. Like I say, I've been reading a lot about the veil of worlds and things like that, and between the two, and that's why we see certain areas that are more prone to supernatural events. And that's what's made me believe this one is. So, and like I say, for that one, again, I give it around about a 4.5. I know we don't do the 0.5s. We usually leave that for guests.
No. Stop it.
I give it a 5 because I really like the idea. I like the theory. I was leaning more towards a 5, but yeah, definitely give it a 5 because I like it.
I don't believe in sort of merging realities. Like, I've got no evidence or no scientific proof to say it's a thing. Human memory can definitely be altered, so...
we've discussed it many a time on this series and last series.
I mean, because I like this one, just because it's more fun than the other ones.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 4.
It takes away from the whole seriousness of the unfortunate side of suicide, and the fact that people need to sort of go to that extreme to just gain a bit of peace, but we understand why, and I think it does add that little bit of mystery and wonder to it. Is, could it have been something that wasn't something making them upset? It was just... that's just me, that's just my way of thinking, and I sort of work things out differently in my mind compared to how other people do it. And again, if I have offended anybody, I don't mean to. That is just my personal way of thinking, and it helps me sort of comprehend what's going on. But what was your fun idea? Your
Undercover cops.
Undercover cops.
Like, the place is that bad.
Is it undercover cops?
But the place is that bad. There's definite drug dealers, like ODs, like prostitutes, all over the show, right?
Yeah.
You're in Skid Row, but you need to control the information that comes out of there. Because you can't have everyone come out and be like, there was an OD in room 408.
Yeah.
Because then it just causes panic, it's more work, and then you've got to do the paperwork.
Oh, yeah, no, we don't want to do paperwork.
So, undercover cops are living in the building.
Okay.
That's why.
They're really bad at their job. Like, really bad.
Wait. This is American police force, so maybe they are really bad at their job. But on the reverse of that, it's like, if there wasn't undercover cops there, then how worse could it be?
Yeah, alright then.
But it makes sense, especially with the Elisa Lam case, where people think there's missing footage and flares in the tape and stuff that doesn't add up to them. if the other person on the video was a cop.
Yeah.
Because the only people that saw the video before the public got to see it were the staff and the police.
Yeah.
And the one that was released to the public was released by the police.
Was released by the police, yeah. All right. Okay. I see where you're going with that one.
And then they'd have every reason to be like, oh, it's just another one of the cases. And obviously, like, anytime they're bringing somebody in but want to do, like, personal justice, it's an OD. They jumped off the roof. It's a great sort of...
You're basically saying these cops are vigilantes.
Within the Hotel Cecil, yeah.
Okay. So Hotel Cecil is Gotham, and every copper there is Batman.
I'm assuming, like, 700 rooms, what was it, like 600 people. You wouldn't need, like, that many in there. Maybe 4, 5?
I'm Batman. No, I'm Batman. No, I am Batman.
No, you got the whole Bat family in there.
I'm Christian Bale, Batman.
I said Bat.
I'm Ben Affleck, Batman.
Batfleck. But yeah. That was my theory. It was like, it would make more sense on why nobody shut it down. Why the police take longer to respond, because they've got someone there.
Because they're already there. That's alright. Alright, now that you put it like that. Okay. I see it. I can see it, yeah. And a place that they can do interrogation, that they could sort of cover things up as... Yeah, alright. I've been very much listening to sort of like podcasts at the moment where a lot of it is the government working outside of the government restraints and finding like areas where they can break the rules without getting into a lot of trouble.
Because no one else is going to wander around the Hotel Cecil but the staff. And the staff know. Why wouldn't they?
Alright, yeah. Okay. Right, well, you know what? I'll give that a 4 as well. I like that.
I mean, it was my crazy idea, and I enjoy it too. I give it a 4.
Yeah. Well, wow. Okay. So we've had some fun theories there that have sort of made light on things and tried to make it a bit more fun at the end. So please, if you've listened to this episode and you've got all the way to the very end, don't think that the rest of the series is going to be this much of a downer.
Wait, no. Episodes. I just thought of another one, just to like bring it back to us.
Okay, go.
Aliens.
Yes.
They're testing the squishiness of humans within the Hotel Cecil.
They're just being abducted.
No, they're not being abducted. They're just doing it on Earth. You know, right. Controlled environment.
Okay.
How squishy is this human? Out the window it goes. This one died on impact. That one died before impact.
We're just test subjects for these guys. Yeah. But yes, we have got a lot more lighter episodes coming up. I mean, we've already got. You've had so far, you know, JFK, the Amityville haunting, the moon landing. You've had Roanoke Colony. You've had this one. You've got next week. You've got the Chilling Tale of La Llorona, which is a good episode.
Llorona.
It's so good. One of my favourite episodes. It is brilliant. So like I say, I hope you do enjoy them, and I hope you've enjoyed what we've had so far. Like I say, they're not all downers, I promise you. This one was a bit more darker than any other episode. But like I say, if you have been affected by anything in this episode, please do head over to our social media. You can see posts there on where to get the help. And especially if you want to talk, please do reach out to us. We are here. We would rather talk to you about things than hear about you if anything has happened. So we're not going to carry on being Debbie Downers. We will say thank you very much for listening. You can also, as I do start saying on most episodes now, you can support me and Omer on Coffee. You can head over there now. It's on our LinkedIn page. Donate if you can. It just helps us build a better setup, put more into our episodes, give us time to do more research, and actually keep bringing you the best content that we can possibly do. Remember, it's been playing in the background. Do go and subscribe to our YouTube page. There is going to be lots of content coming out on there. Behind the scenes stuff, like full clips instead of just the little mini TikTok ones. There will be full clips on there. Behind the scenes content, maybe even big clips from the episode that you can go and watch as well, and some of mine, Omer's best bits, and the bits that we can't show you in the episodes, they might even be on there, but obviously that's still something that me and Omer will discuss. But for now, thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode, and I'm just going to roll that outro clip now.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this intriguing journey through the unknown. We've had a blast exploring mysteries, conspiracies, and the extraordinary with you.
If you've enjoyed our discussion and want to stay updated on our latest episodes, make sure to hit the subscribe button and share the caffeinated love.
And if you've got a conspiracy theory or an unsolved mystery and you'd like us to delve into it, don't hesitate. Drop us a line. We love hearing from you.
Until our next caffeinated adventure, keep sipping on curiosity, and remember that sometimes the truth is hidden behind the most unexpected place. This is Omer. And
I'm Glen, signing off from Caffeinated Conspiracies. Cheers, and until next time, take care, and may your curiosity never run dry.